The Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas is home to the kings of rock and roll. This weekend, some would-be kings have dropped in, but most will check out of the Heartbreak Hotel. But when one of them plays their cards just right, he'll take home the crown as King of the Beach. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Fox Sports Net, as always, is proud to present Pro Beach Volleyball. It's the 1999 AVP Hard Rock Hotel and Casino King of the Beach from Las Vegas. Hello again, everybody, and welcome. I'm Bill McDonald. Alongside is MD Mike Todd, and we are here for one of the most exciting tournaments of the year. And Michael, the culmination of an exciting and rebirth summer for the AVP here in 1999.
Billy Mack, a great season for the AVP, a great way to culminate the season with this King of the Beach tournament. A fantastic format, the players love it, the fans love it. I consider it like three separate events. You've got Friday's play, you've got 8 players groveling for 2 spots, the top 6 players is kind of lounging poolside, sitting in the bleachers, wondering who's going to come out and join their pool. On Saturday, you've got 4 good players in each pool battling for 2 spots. The final 4 making it to Sunday. Sunday, everyone battling to see who's going to be the king.
And it's not only about individual talent and who will ultimately be crowned the king, but it's all about matchups and who you play well with and against.
Not only who you play well with, but the timing of the matches, who plays good one match, who plays bad another. A lot of time, the king ends up being the guy that gets the best out of each partner at that particular time. It's a great format. The players love it. You get a chance to play with a different guy, guys that you always wonder, well, could I play good with this guy? Could I play bad? It's a wonderful format, and it makes for a great final.
And the atmosphere and ambiance, who could ask for anything more? We're in Vegas, baby. Enough said. But we're here for great volleyball, so let's get right to the action and see what happened day number 1 on Friday. The beautiful thing about being here, you can bet. Of course, the odds-on favorite, the king of all kings, Cards Carib at MD. Who'd you like?
God, you got to love Brian Lewis, Dain, Blanton, David Swatik, 8-1, 10-1. Those are great odds. And Franco Neto at 20-1. I'd lay some money down on that guy. Great player and big odds for him.
Put a cool Benjamin on Franco. Now, qualifying Pool A, let's tell you who was in it. Canyon Ceman had to be the favorite, maybe the odds on to move on in this one. Mark Kerins, though, the old man at age 32. First ever King of the Beach for the ever boisterous Brent Doble, and Todd Rogers, who enjoyed a brilliant summer of 1999. And it started off with Kerins and Rogers teaming up against Doble and Ceman, and this turned out to be a great match.
And I'm telling you, Billy Mack, you'd think that Todd Rogers would be the odds-on favorite out of this whole entire pool, and especially when you've got Canyon, Ceman, and Doble, both right-side players playing together, you didn't think they'd do well in this first match.
See, you looked upon it as Rogers. I thought Ceman might come through here, but in this first match, it went down, it went to overtime, and a little controversy ended it for Kerins and Rogers, and we like them close.
I really don't know what to do if it's not close.
And neither do we as far as the excitement factor. Then, of course, they switched partners. Kerins and Doble, Rogers and Ceman hooking up.
Now, this should be a great battle because you have all 4 players on their natural sides. Who did come down to? We'll see.
Well, it turned out to be another great match, and Mark Kerins was playing some unreal volleyball. He was in the zone during this entire day. Watch Mark Kerins. Bam! Right there. Putting it away. He and Doble beat Ceman and Rogers. So this pool working out perfectly. It all came down to the final match.
And Billy Mack, interestingly enough, all players with equal point differential, so whichever team wins the match, those 2 guys still have to go against each other in a playoff.
And at the end, it was Kerins and Ceman eligible for a sudden death, tied going in after the pool.
And Billy Mack, the interesting part is this coin flip wasn't for side or serve, it was for partner, and it looks like Kerins ended up with the best partner and the best score.
All right, not bad for a working man. I like it.
Mark Kerins works his way into the next day, beating out Canyon Ceman, Brent Doble, and Todd Rogers. What a big win for Mark Kerins, one of the long shots. Now, qualifying Pool B, let's take a look at the contestants. The ever-popular one, sporting the mustache, Brian Lewis. Franco Neto, remember, at 20-1 going in, the bomber. Dax Holdren, 27 years of age. He and Todd Rogers had a great summer. And Lee LeGrand, MD, this is a stacked pool. Great competition.
Billy Mack, you got to love all the players in this pool. Very complete, but Brian Lewis, Franco Neto, the veterans in the pool, look for them to take charge, and they're playing together in the first game.
All taking place in front of a knowledgeable crowd at the Hard Rock Hotel. Match 1, Lewis and Neto.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
So beautiful, of course, and they'll change up. And match number 2 provided some other great moments.
Very beautiful. Franco Neto doing this job at the net. Brian Lewis whipping out the jump serve. They're going against each other in this match. Brian Lewis coming out on top.
Holdren and Lewis dominating the final match of Pool B.
Well, Brian Lewis, it just seemed to be his day. He was moving over the court everywhere and just ripping jump serves right and left.
And ironically, although losing match number 3, Louis kept it close enough that on points, he beat Dax Holdren and moved on from this pool to the main draw, day number 2. Well, qualifying, done. You know what that means? We move on to the tables. Have some fun. Take a break and get ready. Day 2 coming up after this.
Fast action.
Welcome back to Las Vegas and the AVP King of the Beach at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. As we get ready for action on day number 2, bad news. Karch Karai's in the pool. Bad news, well, not for his kids, but for him because he's hurt and out of the tournament. For more, here's Tim Hovland.
Thanks, Billy Mack. The real King of the Beach is here, and you're not playing. What happened, Karch?
About a week ago, we were playing a neighborhood soccer game. I got kicked really hard in the back of the calf. It was a little tender for a day or two, and in practice on Tuesday, went and exploded out to the left off my right leg. Something tore in there. Worked really hard with my physical therapist, Randy Bauer. He did his best, but testing it out last night, I took one really hard jump, and it's not going to be able to handle the intensity of a tournament like this.
Unfortunate for the spectators. Karch Karai out. King of the Beach is still here. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, as always, Hav. It's back to the best pool in all of Vegas for Karch Karai and his family. And for us, it's time now to take a look at what happened in day number 2, brought to you by our good friends at Sunkist. With Karch Karai out, Canyon Ceman is the alternate who gets in. Dain, Blanton, Eric Fonoimoana, and Brian Lewis, who won his pool and then moves on to the second day. And day 2, well, the weather certainly didn't cooperate early. It was raining and windy.
Billy Mack, it seemed like Hurricane Floyd blew through there. Delayed play for a little while, but Blanton and Fonoy teaming all year long. They teamed up well in the first match.
Yep, and as you see, the sun was shining definitely on them, rolling in Group A, day 2, match number 1.
It has a lot to do with your partner and how you adjust with your partner and how you work with them and kind of getting the best out of your partner. Maybe he's hot, maybe he's not, but you got to figure out a way to get him hot.
Basically, that is this format in a nutshell. Thank you, the body, Eric Fonoimoana. Match 2, we change teams.
And there you see some great action with Canyon Ceman putting the jet up, not known for his blocking ability.
And the wind was really howling at this point. High level of volleyball, but very difficult conditions. But oh, a huge block put up by Fonoy as he wins again. Hoping to win a crown that every volleyball player covets.
The title's really nice. To be known as a versatile player and be able to play with other players and to win is something that you only get one opportunity a year to do, and it'd be really nice to come out on top at the end of this season.
Dain Blanton teamed up with Brian Lewis. They played great in the third match, and Dain is going to get his shot to be king.
And after match number 3, it was Dain Blanton and Eric Fonoimoana moving on record and points. You know, Louis didn't play all that bad. Canyon Ceman had a bit of a nightie in that draw. Blanton, Fonoimoana in our finals. That takes care of Group A. Now move on to Group B and our players. Adam Johnson about to step into a day he will soon want to forget. Mike Whitmarsh, David Swatik, and Mark Kerins, who was in from the qualifier. Once again, remember, the weather wasn't all that good in day number 2. And how about this game number 1? This was a bit of a surprise.
And I tell you, Billy the Mac, Whitmarsh and Swatik just on fuego. They come out and they present Johnson and Kerins with the veritable goose egg. And when you get that goose egg, the point differential is almost insurmountable.
A bagel in game number 1, 15-0.
I'm going to be serving and blocking this tournament. There's not any other big guys in my pool. If I had another big guy, I'd switch off. I've always wanted to play defense, but I'm always thrown at the net for some reason. So you'll see me at the net blocking. That's where the game's won and lost.
That's a good point, Whitty. You just stay at the net where you belong.
Oh, come on. I want to see him play some defense.
Well, for Whitmarsh, you know, he's kind of trying to complain, saying, I'm going to have to go to the net all the time, but he's playing with 3 defensive players. It works to his advantage.
Once again, Adam Johnson, not good. He had Whitty on his side. He only got 2 points. And David Swatik somehow has the magic.
Yeah, I think you have to if you're playing. If you don't think you can win those tournaments and be in these big events, then you shouldn't be playing. And so I'm hoped, and it's taken me a long time and put in my dues, so I'm glad I'm here.
He paid his dues, and now he's playing great volleyball. Group B, match 3. Could Adam Johnson get some points? It really didn't matter, but he was still playing hard for his partner.
It didn't matter for Adam, but for Swatik, he gets that extra 3rd victory, and those points carry over to the final day.
And Mike Whitmarsh plays well enough to also move on with a 1-2 record, but you see he moved in points. But David Swatik, does he have momentum going into the final day? So it is time to take a break. When we come back to the Las Vegas Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, it's time to move on to fateful day number 3. Stay with us. We are back in Vegas, the gorgeous Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, and the AVP King of the Beach, Billy Mack, MD Mike Dodd, and Tim Hovland. Day number 3 dawned a beautiful day, and here are our finalists, the 4 that move on. And with totals carrying over, David Swatik was in great shape.
David Swatik, great shape, 3-0. Don't count out Blanton Fonoimoana, 2-1. Whitmarsh is the guy that's really got his work cut out for him. He's got to win 3 straight.
But there was your favorite, David Swatik, in match number 1, teamed up with Eric Fonoimoana, Dain, Blanton, and Mike Whitmarsh. And this provided us with some great moments, too. Remember, every time a team wins, it's more cash in the bank, plus you're trying to get points to be named King of the Beach.
And I tell you, what a great format, having the King of the Beach at the end of the summer. These players playing in the best condition and the best shape they're in all summer long. It turned out to be great matches.
And a sign of things to come early on, David Swatik was certainly on a roll, but right there, Dain, Blanton working well with partner Mike Whitmarsh. And again, a lot of these guys playing on their offside.
Eric Fonoimoana, one of the best players at playing at that offside. He plays right or left equally well. Here, making the defensive play on Whitty.
Fonoimoana can really pound, and he showed the huge final day crowd right there what he's talking about. Fonoimoana and Swatik rolling, zeroing in on a victory in match number 1. But Swatik had to contend with the biggest block on the beach, Mike Whitmarsh.
And Whitmarsh and Blanton start to close things with Whitty's big block at the net. 11-9, more was to come.
Would they have enough time, though? Time was running out on Blanton and Whitmarsh.
Swatik and Fonoimoana did not use the clock very wisely toward the end of this game. But fortunately for David Swatik, he made up for it in the end.
He would get another opportunity. And with Eric Fonoimoana serving for match number 1, this was the result. Big block by Swatik. And despite some mistakes at the end, Swatik and Fonoimoana come away with a huge victory in match number 1 of our final 4 on day number 3. So looking at the results, once again, David Swatik undefeated in the championship in sight, but Eric Fonoimoana still in it. The drama building for match number 2. That was just an absolutely unbelievable match. I figured that Swatik and Fonoimoana had it. They tried to give it away at the end. It was unbelievable.
I tell you, Billy Mack, David Swatik, a couple bonehead plays, not using the clock wisely at the end of the match. A big roof on Whitmarsh. He set himself up to become the King of the Beach if he wins this next match.
That is where we are at. Here's what you have to remember. David Swatik, if he wins right here, he is the 1999 champion. However, Eric Fonoimoana trying to stay alive. If he wins, we have one more game, and then whoever wins that one will be crowned 1999 King of the Beach. It's going to be exciting. And for the combatants in our next match, here is Mr. Jimmy Arrico.
King of the Beach coming at you high and on. Let's meet the contestants. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest block on the beach is 6'7" tall, the 1996 Olympic silver medalist, Big Mike Whitmarsh. His partner, he's got it all. We call him the body. Say hello to Yves Fonoimoana. Out of Pepperdine University, ladies and gentlemen, the dangerous one, Mr. Dain Blanton. And last but certainly not least, winners of the Manhattan Hermosa Open, Swatik the Kid, David Swatik. Superior Las Vegas.
Good job, Jimmy Rico, and thank you. Playing conditions, well, it's hot. Not as hot as last week when I was here in Vegas, but it is pretty darn hot. It's smoking down on the sand. What about the sand itself here at the Hard Rock?
I think the sand is okay. The players are so fired up. I don't think they're thinking about the sand. I don't think they're thinking about the heat as well. It's very hot right now. That could be a factor later in the match. I think one of the biggest keys is Mike Whitmarsh. He's teaming up with Fonoimoana. They've got to get this win to keep the whole thing going. And Whitmarsh is the key. Mathematically, he's out of the event, but whether he sucks it up for his buddy Fonoy and really comes through in this match, I think it's how Whitmarsh plays is how the match is going to go.
You really have to depend on your partner and how his motivation is and talent. And it's so fun to see these matchups and to see these partnerships that we wouldn't see throughout the year. A celebration of a great 1999 on the AVP Tour, and we are glad you are with us for the finale right here. Same rules apply. Got to get to 15, win by 2, 9-minute clock, and it's all up to David Swatik right now. He can be king of the beach with a victory here in this match, and Mike Whitmarsh starts things off with a smooth side out.
A little bit of tough break for Swatik and Blanton. Dain making that move to the line and the ball deflecting off of Swatik's block. Side out for Whitmarsh and Fonoimoana.
No question, we have seen incredible volleyball, such a high quality throughout the last few days. Some surprises and some emotional great moments. Swatik, little bump now to Dain Blanton. Little pokey. Swatik with the left hand, and that's a pound right down the middle. Now, obviously, size-wise, Swatik and Blanton are at a little bit of a disadvantage.
A little bit of a disadvantage, but they're both serving great, playing great defense, doing all the other aspects of the game that make up for their lack of size. Besides, they're great jumpers, good arm swings. Don't think it's going to be a big factor. Whitmarsh's block is key, but these guys can beat the ball.
If you followed us all season long, you know how Swatik can ride his serve to a championship. If he gets on a roll, look out. Mike Whitmarsh, down it goes. Seeming to be in pretty good health. He's had some nagging injuries throughout the year.
Another key to watch during this match, Billy, is you got Eric Fonoimoana playing the right side. He hasn't played there all summer long, and Dain Blanton playing the left. That could be a factor. Which one of those players adjusts better to their offside?
Yeah, you saw Blanton right there getting turned around a little bit, not used to it, but he made up for it. Nice resiliency with a good bump set. That is such a great point because it's a totally different country on the other side of the court.
And Billy, this is just athleticism. You get a little turned around on the court, you got to know where you are, and Blanton giving Fonoimoana a nice little bump set in the middle.
No score, just underway. Eric Fonoimoana trying to stay alive to make it back-to-back King of the Beach titles if he can win with Mike Whitmarsh. Dano, yes, sir. Dain Blanton and David Swatik. And it has been such an enthusiastic crowd. They've been making some noise. Great venue here with the hotel as a backdrop. Palm trees, and just knowing that you're in Las Vegas gives you that little bit of energy that you usually need for lack of sleep. Dain Blanton, dial up an ace. And it's 2-0. Crowd still moving in and settling in.
There you're going to see Dain Blanton just ripping that ball down the middle. Whitmarsh has got to take that step. It's been a long, hot day. We're going to have to keep our eye on his feet and see how he's moving.
Fonoy takes this one in the middle, and no chance for Dain Blanton to track that one down.
You're going to see David Swatik going back, apologizing to Dain Blanton. That's definitely a play where David Swatik might want to drop off that net, make Fonoy put the ball away.
We'll take our first break of this match and be right back. Viva Las Vegas. We're bringing it to you on Fox Sports Net from the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. It's the king of the beach. See you in a minute. We are back. It's the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino AVP King of the Beach in Las Vegas. And quickly, let's throw right down to Tim Hovland on the beach.
Right on, Billy Mack. I'm on the beach, but not your beach. I'm at the Hard Rock Beach. Girls, how you doing?
We're doing great.
Is this place great?
Great.
Listen, I'm going to be back with you guys in a little bit.
Here you go, Hop.
Thank you very much. Just give me just a couple minutes, okay? I'll be right back with you. Just a couple minutes.
Billy Mack, that's ridiculous. Hov on the beach, sucking down beers. As usual, we're stuck in the booth working the tournament.
Dude, he's Roberto Benigni. Life is beautiful. To be Hov. Let's get a leash. Let's bring him back to the real beach as the action continues. Here's Fonoy serving it up. And into the net. Service error. And Swatik. That red hat becoming nearly as familiar as Karch's pink one now on the tour. Disappointment to all involved that Karch wasn't able to go because of the injury. And of course, Loyola and Emmanuel not qualifying. Oh, what a dig, Blanton. Watch him get up now. Down the middle, Dain Blanton doing it all.
Spike by Dain Blanton, and Danger takes one in the chest, pops straight up and delivers for the point.
Billy Mack, the crowd loving the effort by Dain Blanton, dropping off the net with a big dig, getting Fonoimoana a little bit of handcuffed after this great dig. Swatik's going to give him a medium set in the middle, and Dain's just going to try to cuff a little knuckleball right at Fonoy, gets him a little out of balance, unable to control.
Nothing gets the crowd going more than a great block or defensive play, and when you can follow up a defensive play by making a good offensive play down the middle like Blanton did, it only reinforces things. That one into the net, and Mike Whitmarsh, Olympic silver medalist, with my partner. We'll be back to serve. Little floaty and block. Pound down the middle. Let's talk about the wind, if there is any. It kicks up occasionally, MD, but it's so darn hot you barely can feel it.
So windy on Saturday's play. All of a sudden, we're here on Sunday. Very calm, not too breezy. I don't think the players are liking that. They could use a little bit of a cool breeze right now. It's very hot out on the court.
So no real good or bad side?
If there's a good side, it would be the side that Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh are on right now. A little bit of breeze blowing in their face, but again, Billy, not the kind of breeze that's really going to affect play or give anyone a huge side advantage. Swatik and Blanton have served a couple aces already from what you would call the bad side, so not really a big effect from the wind.
Minimal effect from the elements, and now Eric Fonoimoana. He and Dain Blanton, of course, teaming up. Played a lot internationally this year. Low set. Much too low, I think, for Dain to do anything about that. And a big block from Whitty.
And a real nice shot there of David Swatik, mentioning to his partner Blanton, my bad, my set, that's too low. And that's just the way that players learn how to adapt to each other. Whitmarsh likes that little low set in the middle. Swatik's been doing that all summer. All of a sudden, now players have to adjust to what's going to make their partner a better player.
Blanton, Whitmarsh, make it 2 in a row for Big Mike, and we'll take the turn. So just when Blanton and Fonoimoana got themselves into a little bit of a groove and had the crowd definitely cheering and roaring, Mike Whitmarsh does what he does best, the big, huge block. 3-2 from Vegas. We are back in Las Vegas, and Mike Dodd, in just a short time, in a span of a few years, quite a history and legacy now for the king of the beach. And after Karch definitely dominated in the early going, it's really been, you know, a mix-up. It's been up for grabs the last few years.
Well, you've got AJ, you've got Fonoy, you've got Jose Loyola, definitely the cream of the crop. You got young David Swatik having the year of his life. Is he going to cap it off here now with the king of the beach?
AJ in there, Jose, who didn't make it in, and I saw Adam Johnson earlier with his family relaxing by the pool. So was Karch and his family, two of the great players just sticking around for the weekend and having some fun here. That's a good get by Blanton and Swatik, but a chance to tie it up at 3-all, and Fonoimoana does just that. Smooth sailing for Eric Fonoimoana. And we're tied at 3.
So you got Whitmarsh coming up with some big blocks, and now Eric Fonoimoana taking over with a nice jump serve, getting the team in trouble and putting the ball away.
Big hit again from the lefty, David Swatik. You know, he's got that strut about him, his air about him, that he's just such a more confident player than he was at the beginning of the year.
And you see it in every aspect of his game. And interestingly enough, you've got Swatik and Fonoimoana, two kids that played together at Maricosta High School. Who would think that out of all the high schools in California and the world, that when you get down to the best players on the beach, two of them from the same school.
Fonoy, and that one's out.
Spike from the right side by Eric Fonoimoana is wide.
And Blanton and David Swatik now are up 4-3, going to 15, must win by 2. Again, if you're just joining us, if David Swatik wins this game with Dain Blanton, he will be crowned King of the Beach. Eric Fonoimoana, oh man, tongue-tied with that great Swatik serve, why not? Fonoy needs to win to stay alive and then win the next one. Here's an ace, dial it up, David Swatik.
And in probably more than any other area of the game, Swatik's confidence exudes when it comes to the jump serve. He's been ripping jump serves all weekend long.
Is my fumbling contagious? Maybe it's just lack of rest. Fonoy, look at that block by Blanton, but Whitmarsh back to get it. Whitty, good swing. Swatik was there. Oh, he's so frustrated. Nice roundhouse by Mike, though.
And Billy, you called it earlier on the match. So far, Eric Fonoimoana and Dain Blanton getting the majority of the serves. They're on their opposite sides, and they're doing very well. It's so interesting. You'd think that these teams just coming together for the first time, there'd be some miscommunication, some poor rallies, some poor ball control, and there's been anything but that all weekend long.
I got a question for you as that one goes down. Why, when Fonoimoana and Swatik, so let's just take Eric Fonoimoana. He needs to win here. Why would he play his regular side and switch Whitmarsh over to the other side?
Because it all depends on who's going to be better on their bad side.
Whitmarsh can't make the turn as well.
He played a lot of right side earlier on in his career with Rob Heiger playing the left, and he's very comfortable on the right. Whitmarsh has never played right side, and so you would be at an even greater disadvantage having Whitmarsh playing the right side right now.
Well spoken. And there is the aforementioned Eric Fonoimoana. The answer was obvious. I just wanted to hear it from you. There's Whitmarsh with the block and down.
Mike Whitmarsh by David Swatik.
Well, I tell you, Mike Whitmarsh would probably be the first one to tell you that
he couldn't play over there.
I'm not going over there. I don't care who I'm playing with. I'm going to be a stronger team if I stay on my left side and I play with whoever on the right.
Quite honestly, you can embarrass yourself over on the other side. And that's something you don't want in this venue, in this format. Whitty marches over. That's a great set. But Swatik's there. There's wide open room. And Swatik, that's an easy play. Swatik saw that open court for a good 5-6 seconds, and he knew he was going there the whole time. He was just waiting for the set.
And we got to keep a keen eye on Mike Whitmarsh right now. Sun beaten down. It's been a long couple days. He's had some incredible comebacks and some tough matches. He's looking like he's starting to fatigue right now. He's been running all over the court.
Oh, great cut by Fonoimoana, and a pretty darn good set by Whitmarsh, too.
Just getting underneath the block of Dain Blanton. I tell you, you talk a lot about the greatest players, and you talk about a guy like Jim Mingus, Ron Von Hagen. They won with a lot of different partners, but not always playing different sides. Sometimes it might even be the more complete player that's won a lot of different tournaments playing different sides.
Great get. Same for Whitmarsh, and over. Let's see if they can complete the play defensively. No, David Swatik. Swatik very focused, but he's got to play smart. He did not play especially a smart game last time and almost let it slip away.
Very especially smart. No, David Swatik had a 3-point lead with about 10 seconds left in the match. All he really had to do was bump the ball up in the air and let the clock run out. Instead, he swung away, got roofed straight down, then got roofed again. The match went into overtime, and fortunately for David Swatik, they were able to pull it out 12-10 in the first game, and if they had lost that, he'd really be shooting himself right now.
He crawled his way out of that mental mistake. Take a quick break, be right back. King of the Beach in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's Vegas, baby. AVP, King of the Beach.
It's all about Las Vegas this weekend and King of the Beach, and plenty of fans have traveled from across the country and converged here near the Strip. And we've said hello to a lot of friends that we've met on tour this year. The culmination, the ending party right here, King of the Beach. And Dain Blanton and David Swatik right now lead 6-3. And if that team wins, David Swatik wears the crown for the season. Whitmarsh and Fonoimoana trying to keep things alive for the Big E, who would have to then win the next game also. And that would get interesting because both teams would be with their normal partners.
Again, David Swatik seeing the court so well. I think if you're jump serving right now, you want to try to keep the pressure on Dain Blanton. So far, siding out very well on the left side, but keep the pressure on.
We're in a bit of a side-out war right now at 6-3. 5.5 on the clock, started at 9. Whitmarsh again traveling all over. Swatik, pretty tight. Whitmarsh doesn't give you much room to breathe. That's a great free ball by Blanton, and Whitmarsh gets it. Dain easy does it on the ding. That's great stuff. The world's best pro beach volleyball. And with it, a point comes along, which makes it 7-3. Good Swatik on his way to a title. We'll find out.
Has had a tough couple years, lost partners, lost points, unable to qualify in a couple FIVB events. She comes out, wins the Queen of the Beach, very deserving. Nobody works harder than she does.
You just take a look at her and you know she's in top physical condition. And now David Swatik with the left hand, leading by 4. Oh, look out below! There's just no way you're going to get that.
And I'm telling you, Swatik is feeling it. It's been his year all year long. He wins Hermosa, he wins Manhattan. He's looking real solid right now here at the King of the Beach. And for Fonoy and Whitmarsh, now's the time. Do not let this thing get out of hand. It's 8-3, plenty of room, plenty of time. Start siding out and make your comeback.
And as you mentioned, it's Whitmarsh we have to watch, see if his mind wanders a little bit. He is out of the competition as far as possibly winning. Of course, every time you win a match, it's a lot of cash in your pocket, so the motivation there in itself keeps you going. But
and I tell you, Whitmarsh has got scrapes and cuts all over his body. He's been diving all over the court. And for a guy that's theoretically out of it, he's doing everything he can to get Fonoimoana into that third match.
Very tight upstairs that time, and somehow Swatik negotiates it past Whitmarsh. Look at Hav over there grabbing some shade, the only shade in the whole place, and Hav is like crawling behind a palm tree. He's a smart man.
I tell you, the veterans, they know where to seek shade.
Well done. Fonoimoana off the block of David Swatik. And now Fonoy. As I mentioned, been a long year for them with all their travel that they endured throughout the month of July and August.
And Billy Mack, a little bit of wind picking up right now in favor of Whitmarsh and Fonoimoana. They've got to make a move right here.
Flowing left to right as you're watching. Fonoy again, right there.
Shot player Fonoimoana off the block of Blanton. Point Fonoy.
And rack it up. They finally get off of 3 to Fonoy and Whitmarsh, and it's 8-4, Dain Blanton and David Swatik.
Again, it's a nice jump serve, getting things rolling for Eric Fonoimoana, cuffing it off Blanton's block. He's got to take advantage. A little bit of breeze right now. Rip the jump serves.
See if they can get on a mini roll, get some points in a hurry. Touch again, doing a lot of damage with the soft stuff.
And again, sometimes it comes down to your partner who plays best in the finals. Dain Blanton doing everything right now, taking a tough Fonoimoana jump serve in the middle, making a good pass and saving another Swatik short set, just cuffing it to the open area.
Swatik. Dain Blanton, that's good defense. Can Swatik get it off? He can. Deep corner. Fonoy, unbelievable. Swatik puts it away though. Listen to this crowd.
And as Chris McGee would say, are you kidding me? These guys out here all weekend long, rallies back and forth, incredible rallies in the earlier match. Fonoy with the backhand scissors over the net. David Swatik, though, cool as a cucumber, ripping this ball down the line. He can feel it. He's on his way.
Taking a timeout and going to break, but we're back very quickly. Las Vegas, king of the beach. It is time now to go back down to the hub. And I understand Tim is in a very, very difficult, tense situation. What will he do?
Right on, Billy Mack. It is getting tight down here. Should I double down or shouldn't I? I'll take the hit. Yahtzee! Wags, nice hat. Back to you, Billy Mack.
Right here.
Billy Mack Hobb is learning that game. A few years ago in Atlantic City, he would split those 5.
MD, I'm not buying that. With a dealt, rather, an ace and a jack, I think Hobb still might hit. Wow, Hobb. Let's get back to the action again on center court. Swatik, just out. Now think back. I'm going to jog your memory here. Have any partnerships for the next season been born out of playing with a partner at the King of the Beach? Because sometimes maybe you don't get a chance to play with somebody.
I believe it's happened twice with Adam Johnson and Jose Loyola. They hooked up in, I think, Jose's first King of the Beach and really clicked and went on to play very well for a couple of years. And then a couple of summers ago, Ken Steffes and Jose Loyola played so well at the King of the Beach, they started playing together. That was when Loyola dropped his longtime partner, Eugenio, and Loyola and Steffes may have been the best team on the beach for a while had the Olympics not come around and Jose switched for his fellow Brazilian mate, Emmanuel.
So a feeding ground for future Jose partners here at the King of the Beach, and not a good play by Eric Fonoimoana there, dropping it down middle of the net, 10-4. Blanton and Swatik, and David Swatik, ladies and gentlemen, is just 5 points away from being the new king. Dana will serve, and just out.
And Billy Mack, that's what happens so often when you're not playing the side that you're used to. At the beginning of the match, you're getting good sets, things are happening fine, you can get by. All of a sudden, the ball's a little in, a little back, a little to the outside. Adjusting to your offside is the most difficult thing to do.
Over on 2, but Fonoi's there. This should be a side turn. Oh, Blanton proves me wrong with some great defense, but Fonoi says, I can do that too. Swatik, no!
Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh very fatigued right now, but making the big plays defensively to keep this match alive.
And as originally said, we will take a turn. 10-5, Blanton Swatik over Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh. Las Vegas, it never sleeps. We're wide awake right now for the King of the Beach, and so is Tim Hovland with Mike Whitmarsh.
Whitty, you're down 5-10. What do you do to get back in the game?
We got to side out a little better, and I got to get some more blocks. I had a couple right at the beginning, but they're been hitting by me lately, so I got to get a couple jeds, and I'll try to change this game around.
You have enough to make it?
Oh, yeah. I think everybody feels fine out here. King of the Beach. It's not that hot, and hopefully Fonoi and I can come back.
Go get him, Whitty. Billy Mack, back to you guys.
Thanks, Hobby. Not that hot, huh, Whit? Okay, come on up here with us.
Billy Mack,
fry an egg.
That's the case of positive mental attitude.
Like
if you keep telling yourself it's not hot, maybe it won't be so hot.
Players now back out on the court. Once again, we hope to see you next year as we peruse the countryside on the AVP Tour. And it's going to be a fun year, too, because it's going to wind up also in September, the Olympics in Australia in September. And I know Eric Fonoimoana and Dain Blanton are gearing to try to be there, as are Adam Johnson and Karch Kirai.
And Billy Mack, you and I already know. We'll be there.
We are.
Bondi Beach.
Ready to go. Going to be fun. 3 weeks with MD in Australia. What's the name of the beach?
Bondi.
Send me all the pamphlets. Mike Whitmarsh now getting set along with Fonoimoana. Here's Whitty. Says he's got enough left. Very tight. But won that time by Fonoimoana.
Okay, Dain Blanton's going to put up a little bit of an argument, not so much about the net, but that Fonoimoana came under and interfered with his chance to make the play.
One of those. Over, net. He didn't like it. And Marvin Hall is our referee. He can do more than dance, folks.
And I tell you, Billy Mack, you'd think that Manhattan Beach isn't the only beach that has controversy revolving around big volleyball events. Bondi Beach almost didn't become the site for the Olympics because the local people were very upset about the noise and the construction and everything that was going to be happening with building the 15,000-seat volleyball arena. Things almost didn't happen in Bondi.
Ooh. Bonsai, says Mike Whitmarsh. Take that. Whitty, the biggest block on the beach.
Sometimes you don't need words. That's just getting up, getting over. And we had Hav with Whitmarsh earlier, and what would he say? I got to get some stuff blocks and get things going. Cindy Whitmarsh loving that.
That's his game, and there's his lovely wife. Swatik and Dain Blanton getting a hand on everything now. And Whitmarsh is one of those streaky blockers too. All of a sudden he gets in a zone, he's getting an inch or two higher, and everything seems to find a way to his hands.
And Swatik and Blanton, they've got the 10-6 lead, but when Whitmarsh starts getting hot at the net, no lead seems safe.
And remember, Swatik had some problems closing out the last match with Fonoimoana. Good dig again. Gonna go high and deep. And Eric feeling good on the left. Feeling real good on the left. Banging that one home. All that for a side out. Still 10-6. Going to 15, the clock's at 3:41. Right now, we would think that might not be a factor. It's like they've been playing together for a long time. That's about as smooth as you can side out.
And I tell you, it's funny because the King of the Beach format, you play against these guys all summer long, and then all of a sudden you get a chance to come out and play with them. It's so refreshing for the players. I just know that after a long season, it's just nice to come out and play with different guys and just play a little different kind of volleyball.
Swatik, big dig. This could be a point. Get to 11-6. That's a great set. That's a great set, Dain Blanton. Give him all the credit in the world after the dig by David Swatik. It's 11-6.
And again, Swatik showing that emotion after putting the ball away. He knows how close he is. Dain Blanton from about 35 feet off the net, putting Swatik right where he needs to be, a little cuff down the line.
Tough one down the middle. Swatik again, 2 in a row. Can he finish? He'll get another opportunity. This time, though, he's got Whitmarsh in his face. Little different when Mike's there. Little different. He had a free run at it before, then all of a sudden, there's Whitmarsh.
And you get a shot of Whitmarsh and Fonoimoana just talking to each other. Here you're going to see Whitty with the little soft block. Blanton and David Swatik unable to cover each other, and Whitmarsh kind of looking at Marvin saying, wasn't that a throw? Call something. End this rally. Give me some rest.
Nope, Blanton. We've seen him do that a few times this year. Has a tendency on that cut to really drop it short.
And again, it's David Swatik not adjusting to Dain Blanton. Blanton needs a little bit higher of a set. Dain's been adjusting well to the low sets, but unable to cuff the ball across court.
Setting the scene again, Swatik. He wins here, he wins the championship. Fonoimoana needs a victory to stay alive and go to another game.
Mike Whitmarsh getting his hands on everything right now. You know Whitmarsh and Fonoy can score some points in bunches. The question is right now, can they side out? That's what Whitmarsh said at the side change. We need to side out consistently to mount the comeback.
That's a good serve, but just out. Fonoimoana, no chance. He was waving bye-bye at that one, hoping it would go out. You know, Mike, you referred to the joy of playing with players you don't normally play with. We were upstairs in the Sunkist booth talking to Brian Lewis. Louie, and you guys rarely lost when you played King of the
We never
Beach.
lost together, and I love to play with Brian Lewis. Such a great athlete, sets so well, does all these little things that I never notice when I'm playing against him because I'm trying to beat him, but when I played with him, we just had a great time. I love playing with Brian.
What's going on with his mustache and cowboy hat? What was that? I like the look, though. It's refreshing. Whitmarsh will push Fonoy up. Oh, Swatik was there. But Eric Fonoimoana, the good put away, spank, slapping it right down the line.
The key is siding out. Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh starting to get a little bit of a groove.
Dain Blanton up, off the block. Whit, that's a good position for him. Blanton, perfectly done. Fonoy, little different style, finish!
And Fonoy's just pumping up his partner. He's saying, stay with me, Whitty. Keep fighting, hang on, and we can do this comeback. We can do it.
Win it for me, I'll take you to the biggest
Just
dinner possible.
And watch the emotion from Fonoy. He's pumped. He says, Whitty, let's go. We can do it.
You can ride the wave of your partner, too. You can get caught up in it knowing that he needs this.
Most definitely.
These guys are competitors, but they also want to help you out as a teammate and a friend.
And Billy Mack, let's not forget that there's individual cash for each game won as well.
I think that might be near the top of the list as far as the motivational factors also. Whitmarsh wants some extra money. I know his wife does. That's why she was applauding during every one of those points. Whitmarsh, it's like a day at the park. He just kind of stands back there flat-footed, and here comes your bump set.
Very much. You see Whitmarsh's legs, they're perfectly straight. You don't want to teach the fundamentals to the young players on that, but Whitmarsh able to get away with it with great hand-eye coordination and ball control.
Blocked there by Whitmarsh. Swatik and Blanton need a point. They've been stuck on 11 for a while, and although they're down by 3 and there's 2:19, if old momentum had a side, it would be on Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh's side right now. They just seem to be playing smoother and better.
And Billy Mack, how many times have we seen this summer when a point was really needed, Swatik delivering the spade?
Can he do it here? A tough serve. Puts Fonoy at a disadvantage, and out there it goes. Well, you called it, MD. Right when David Swatik needs it, he gets it. Not quite an ace, but it put them back.
Just as good. It's called dialing it up.
And we will take a turn. 4-point lead for David Swatik, trying to be the king of the beach. Pleased that you are with us and joining us in Las Vegas, Billy Mack, MD, and the Hive, and we hope to see you next year on tour. And we take a look at the schedule, Mike, and some of the old staples were in Florida early, and Manhattan, Hermosa, Chicago, Belmar, but we're going back to Phoenix, and I also see golf country, Myrtle Beach on the slate for next summer.
Bring your clubs, baby. I love the AVP schedule for next year. All the best stops that we've had on tour for years and years. Adding Phoenix, putting it back into the stable. It was a great site for years. Good to have it back. And like you said, going to new places, trying Myrtle Beach. We'll see how that goes. Should be fun either way for you and I. We'll hit the little white one.
I would hope so. Dallas, Chicago, and in that schedule. And we end up again here in Las Vegas for the King of the Beach. David Swatik, 3 points away. And as we said, it would cap off just an amazing year for him. That one, though, into the net. He took the double at home, Hermosa and Manhattan Beach. That in itself would be enough, you would think. But this would just really make it the most special season. Big hit. Dain Blanton.
Any questions about Dain being tired were answered on that side out. And I tell you, Billy, it's so nice to have the King of the Beach at the end of the year. It was at the end of the year, like the first 5. Then all of a sudden we started playing it the first part of the season, and it just seems that the quality of and level of play this year are unbelievable.
That's a great way to finish. Fonoimoana, Blanton, just sort of a backboard that time. You know, and those balls are coming very, very, very fast, and Blanton just figures he should get that up every time.
That's right. Dain Blanton's been playing great defense all weekend long. That one just kind of getting away from him.
Thank you.
Fonoy trying to scratch his way back and stay alive. Scrambling a bit. And is it out? Yes, it is. He'll take that freebie. Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh will.
Again, another great pass from Dain Blanton. David Swatik's got to lift that set a little bit higher. That short set is getting Blanton in trouble. We've seen a couple balls cuffed, one in the net and now one out down the line. Swatik's got to lift that bump set a little bit higher for Blanton.
3 away, but a 3-point lead. Tough serve again. Swatik, that's a great set. Oh, man. You're playing with luck, but a lot of skill.
It's all good.
And Dain Blanton delivers the pound at the end. Big bomb.
Big bomb, but all set up from David Swatik. Getting low, playing that ball out of the net, giving him a perfect bump set.
Let's see if that is a catalyst now for a possible point. Oh, Swatik, you want to talk about your fundamentals breaking down on a serve. That one was behind him, and he had no chance from the get-go.
We saw Venus Williams having so much trouble with her toss in the U.S. Open. That time Swatik, a very poor toss. Unfortunately now, you have to try to play through that. You can't just stop play with a bad toss.
Tight and low again, and out. That's another problem. Remember, we saw that earlier when Swatik set him too low and a little push. And it's only a 2-point game right now at 12-10.
You see Blanton kind of frustrated, shaking his head coming off the net. He's got to verbalize. He's got to go to David and say, listen, I've been getting by, but you got to lift that ball up a little higher for me, and I'm going to do the job for you and get you to your title.
The only difference here is because he's not your regular partner, you'll have a little bit more patience than you normally would.
Exactly.
Swatik in the driver's seat. As long as we're saying cliches, the pedal is to the metal. He's looking good.
All hail the King of the Beach.
They call him the body, and he's trying to come back all the way and force a final game, which would really be something. Fonoimoana and Blanton would be hooked up again, going up against Whitmarsh and Swatik, and that would be winner take all. As far as Swatik or Fonoimoana concerned, Blanton and Whitmarsh effectively out of the running for #1, but still playing for money.
How funny, you play all year long and then you have the King of the Beach and you could end up with 2 teams that have played together all year long in the 3rd game.
Blanton says, I've had enough of these mistakes. I'm going to put it right down. You look at the service errors as they go back now. 8 service errors for the team of Blanton and Swatik. Only 2 for Whitmarsh and Fonoimoana.
Well, it's almost obligatory for them because they're not getting any blocks. So you've got a risk in your serve. You've missed those serves, yes, but you're also scoring points with aces and just getting the team in trouble with a good jump serve.
Witty, soft, over, down. Perfect. And Fonoimoana gives him an affectionate pat on the back and says, thank you very much, partner. And now Fonoimoana with the ball in his own hands.
It's amazing,
really here.
Billy, how prophetic the players can be when Hoff talks to him on the sidelines. He goes to Witty down 10-5, looking like it's over. Says, look, let's just settle down. We get some side outs. I'll block some balls and we can get back in it. And sure enough, they do that exact thing.
It's that Harav karma that he's got working.
Just outside the reach of a diving Eric.
You know why? Because he's still in the shade. Using the equipment that time. And now Swatik. And he needs another point right here. And let's not forget, there's a minute 33, so all of a sudden time has crept up on us, and that could play a factor.
Anytime you get under 2 minutes, you got to start giving the clock a peek.
Swatik. Fonoimoana. Hello. Reared back and fired. And now Mike Whitmarsh will serve it up.
That's a real nice bump set for Whitty. He'd been pushing Fonoimoana a little back off the net during the middle part of the match, getting Eric in trouble. That one, though, in perfect swinging position.
Short. So Blanton retreats, comes back, and hits it down the middle. And Fonoy was guessing that time, and he was leaning. It looked like he could have been there.
And I tell you, if you've ever had to play against Whitmarsh, when he serves that short serve to you and takes away your approach, it's just one of the toughest things to do in volleyball. Dain Blanton coming through big for Swatik.
Yeah, you're running up to get the serve and watching him run up to try and block you. That was so close for Blanton. Very close, but out. And now Fonoimoana again. And fatigue really setting in a little bit on these players. As you can see, they're pacing around, just trying to pace themselves late in this match. Fonoimoana needs a win. Low throw. Swatik will get an opportunity. And a really fine set, too, from Dain Blanton. Minute 18 left. Just another little aspect to add flavor. No! As that one goes out. This is Las Vegas, of course. So you can go into the sports book and bet on your favorite team. So not only are fans here cheering because they like the players, but they've got a little monetary situation riding on it also, which might make the fever a little bit more.
Spike by Dain Blanton. Splits the defense of Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh. Side out, Blanton and Swatik.
Side out war, 12-10. Can Dain Blanton end it for the time being? They lead by 2, coming up on the 1 minute mark.
Good shot of Dain Blanton, again, adjusting to that low bump set from David Swatik.
Tough pass, but given to Whitmarsh. Swatik's got to go over and does. Fonoy will crank. Swatik, but it's going to go out. But it did kill off some precious seconds. 58-8 now. This crowd waiting for a good rally and wanting to explode. Under the specter of the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Serving it up, Eric Fonoimoana into the net. I'm just watching Whitmarsh, and he is moving as little as possible at all times.
Saving every ounce of energy for when the ball's in play. And here's a little change. We've got 10 missed serves from Swatik Blanton, so what does Swatik do? Let's go to the floater and see if we can change it up a little.
Off the nets, no chance. Dain says, not that time, I'll wait when I really need it.
Exactly, all the players out here now conserving their energy, knowing
survival.
That this could be not the last game, that they are going to have to play another if Whitmarsh and Fonoimoana can pull this match out.
Blanton. And that could really get interesting if we have to go another one, because as you mentioned, Whitmarsh might be the one that is struggling the most. And he would then be teamed with his partner, David Swatik. And at that point, maybe you'd be looking at Fonoimoana to come from behind and sneak up and take the championship for the 2nd year in a row. So I think Swatik's thinking, if I'm going to do it, let's do it right now.
Exactly.
And he could get a point here, and will, as Whitmarsh becomes comfy and cozy with part of the patrons. But there is finally another point, and now Swatik can see it. You get to 13, you're not quite there, but it's right over the horizon. It's 13-10.
And again, Dain Blanton just coming through big all match long for David Swatik, with great sighting out, the occasional jump surveys, and just playing all-around great volleyball.
Timeout, Whitmarsh.
Taken by the team of Dain.
So a little jump to the step now of David Swatik and Dain Blanton as they finally get off a 12-10. And we're going to take a break. Be back with what could be a brilliant finish to the King of the Beach 1999 in Las Vegas. Stay with us. Billy Mack, MD, and Tim Hovland. Back with what could be couple of the final serves of the season. 13-10, Blanton and Swatik leading Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh. Block. Swatik, Fonoi's got to hustle. Again, and down. But with that block, that's about 4 or 5 extra seconds.
Exactly,
just 34 seconds.
And we spoke about it early. Dain Blanton coming up with the big ace for 13. And that also gives Blanton and Swatik a little bit of a cushion as the clock runs down. They can manage to give up a point and still win the match.
And if it remains 3 and gets down to about 10 seconds or so, Swatik should start thinking about trying to play with the clock, as he did not do the last time. That's off of Whitmarsh.
There you're seeing a little motion from Dain Blanton, again taking a very short set from Swatik. Quick arm swing, just slipping it by Whitmarsh. Dain's pumped up. I tell you, there's a lot of satisfaction, not only from winning the King of the Beach, but being the guy that helps the guy get there. I've had the pleasure of doing that a couple times in these events.
Swatik, big dig. Whitty had a notion to go over on 2. Swatik just tried to keep it alive, and that time couldn't get there. 19.2. And this is a big serve coming up.
And you said it, Billy Mack. Whitty had the notion to go over on 2. Might have been the wise play if he felt good enough to do it, to get the clock over. Now.
Knowing that you need to do it with time running out. Precious side out for Blanton, and he really responds. 15-3. Tell you what, Blanton, Swatik get a point here. Lights out, say bye-bye. It's going to be over.
And I'm telling you, it's one of those points in the match right now. You've been jump serving all match long. You've missed a few. If I'm Dain Blanton right now, I might serve the high, deep, floaty. Just keep the ball in the air, and sure enough, here goes Dain Blanton with the float serve.
Very smart play. And keeping it alive for a moment. 9 seconds remaining. And here comes Eric Fonoimoana.
And Billy, this is really the match right here for Fonoimoana and Whitmarsh. If they're going to win, Eric Fonoimoana is going to have to not only serve up a jump serve ace or score a point very quickly, but then come up with one following that. So Whitmarsh and Swatik have 9 seconds to score 2 points or this match is over. One good pass, one high bump for Swatik and Blanton, and they've won this match. And that's it.
This is going to be David Swatik's year for King of the Beach. 2-1, and it is over. David Swatik, ladies and gentlemen, with some help of his friends.
For all 4 of our King of the Beach contestants, one more round to play.
David Swatik, way to go Swatik with the red cap, capping off definitely the season of his life.
And a great run by Eric Fonoimoana. Mike Whitmarsh, not quite enough. And Dain Blanton played very well in support of his partner. And Tim Hovland is with the King.
Swatik, unbelievable tournament. How you feeling, King of the Beach?
Feeling great. It's the first time I've ever played, and I love the format. And I'm really fortunate the guys I played with the whole tournament played really well. And I was in a good zone yesterday and played pretty well today, so it's a great feeling.
Manhattan, Hermosa, this just ends a great year for you.
Yeah, it's been what I've been working for 7 years, and I'm glad everything's finally paying off and try to carry this momentum into next year.
Who are you looking to play with next year? Whitty again?
Yeah, I mean, you win Hermosa, you win Manhattan, and you win it all with somebody. It's really a hard thing to do, and I think we need to keep playing together.
By far your best year?
Oh yeah, by far. It's the first year I've ever won, so it's great.
Swatik, congratulations. Go get him, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hob. The party beginning for everyone here, for us, and of course for David Swatik, who is absolutely dominating this weekend. Final results and the money to be handed out.
Well, for David Swatik, by far his biggest payday ever, $47,500. Dain Blanton